A pleasant good evening and welcome to the Wolverina, the Turtle Creek home of your Woodland Hills Wolverines. Adam Gusky and Fred Guy on the call for you as Woodland Hills takes on the Baldwin Highlanders in a big Southeastern Conference matchup. Woodland Hills is 3-2 on the year, but more importantly in second place in the Southeastern Conference with a record of 3-1. Meanwhile, Baldwin has yet to play a game out of conference, and they are 2-3 on the year and in the SEC. Woodland Hills comes off of a 49-10 win at Mount Lebanon last week, while Baldwin fell to Upper St. Clair at home 44-10. And Fred, Woodland Hills right now is clicking on all cylinders. Just one part of their game over the past couple of weeks has been lacking, but other than that, they have been lights out.
Yeah, they've really been consistent. The inconsistent part of their game, which is a shock to me and as you as well, is their kick coverage. Haven't done a real good job in terms of shutting down the kick return team of their opponents. They've been getting good starting field position. But the one thing that we've noticed is their defense has come to play every week. So that's one thing that Woodland Hills has got going for them right now.
And their defense is really coming to play. And one thing that's really come through the past 2 weeks is Chris David defensively, 2 straight weeks with a defensive touchdown.
Yeah, he's been excellent in the secondary. That pick six last week was just a nice reading the quarterback's eyes, finding the ball, picking up some blocks. And then the week before, he got a fumble recovery in the end zone.
We also saw over the past 2 weeks, 2 straight weeks of special teams touchdown. It was Harry Randall with a punt return here at the Wolverina against Plum. And then last week on the road at Mount Lebanon, it was a 95-yard kickoff return for Art Tompkins.
Yeah, Art Tompkins has just stepped up his game the last couple of weeks. It's good that Woodland Hills is getting him some touches coming out of the backfield or on the wide receiver end. And he's just doing a good job of just making sure he's doing the best that he can and taking advantage of the opportunities he's been given.
Another big thing that we've seen from Woodland Hills is they're starting to find their two-way and one-way players. And when Woodland Hills can have a 2-platoon system, they become very, very dangerous.
Yeah, Coach Novak is utilizing a lot of his younger players, a lot of the sophomores, some juniors that might not have gotten a lot of starting time or playing time early in the season. They're maturing as practice and as the season goes on. And like you said, if they're going to, have 1 platoon per side and, get a couple players in the on one side of the ball, they're going to be dangerous the rest of the year.
And one of those players is James Eggleston, who has moved to primarily defense, but we understand he's going to play some tight end. And Eggleston at 6'2", 285 is going to be a monster at tight end if he does end up playing at the end of the line.
Yeah, that also gives them an added blocker as well. But, him being with his big hands. I mean, we've seen him swat down a couple passes over the past couple of weeks. He has massive hands.
Woodland Hills has won the coin toss and declared. Baldwin will receive at the north end of the field.
So that means Woodland Hills will be kicking off from right to left across your television screen, radio dial, or internet browser. And we thank you for joining us no matter where you are across the Woodland Hills Football Network. And we talked about Eggleston a minute ago. Another big benefit for the Woodland Hills Wolverines is they've got a majority of their starters back after some injury issues, including their center, James Rooney, who didn't play against Plum. Last week we saw Daniel Gibson return to the lineup in a starting role. Chris David has been out. He came back in. So, the Wolverines right now not only clicking on all cylinders, but they've got the majority of their lineup out there.
Yeah, and they're getting healthy at the right time. Going into the stretch run of the conference schedule, you still have a big game against Penn Hills down the road, which, ultimately could determine who gets that second place in that first-round home playoff game.
And that game will be the final week of the regular season at Penn Hills, and as always, we'll have the coverage for you on the Woodland Hills Football Network. But the focus tonight is Woodland Hills against Baldwin in a Southeastern Conference matchup. Officials for today's game, our referee is Larry Kupek and his crew, including the umpire Tony Manko. Dave Opanowski is the linesman, line judge Steve Ward, field judge Chaz Simone, and the side judge is Frank Magnanti. Kicking off for Woodland Hills, as usual, will be the senior Donald Cassidy, and back deep to return for the Baldwin Highlanders is Gary Jackson. And this is, we talked about in the pregame show, the one thing Woodland Hills has been struggling with in their 3-game winning streak has been the kick coverage game.
Yeah, and traditionally Woodland Hills, if they do win the kickoff, they usually do defer until the second half. But I thought, with the issues that they've been having in terms of KIF coverage, they might have gone a different route today.
Woodland Hills along the far sideline. They wear their black jerseys, white pants, turquoise helmets with the black ears and stripes. Near sideline are the Baldwin Highlanders. They wear all white with the purple numerals and the purple helmets. And we are underway in Turtle Creek, PA. A low squibbing kick will bounce into the arms of the return man for Baldwin. That is Josh Zinsmeister. And Zinsmeister will fall to the turf at the 30-yard line, and that's where Baldwin will take over first and 10.
And this Baldwin Highlander team, despite their record, they've actually been able to put some points up on the board, with the exception of last week of getting shut out by Upper St. Clair. But even in their losses, they've been able to put up, 20, 30 points in a ball game. So they're definitely an electrifying bunch.
Tight end to the right of the formation. A pistol set with a sidecar to the left of the quarterback, Felix, I believe. And the handoff will go to the tailback in the formation. He'll run to the left and will be brought down along that far sideline. That's Nick Barca, the ball carrier. The quarterback is Doug Altavilla. Altavilla, number 13, 6'2", junior.
And Altavilla has also thrown for almost 800 yards this season, has 9 touchdowns against 4 interceptions.
Pick up 4 for the tailback, Barca, and the same formation. Receivers to either side. Altavilla will hand off. Straight up the middle goes Barca, and he is met a yard deep in the backfield. Dante Broadus on the tackle. And it will bring up 3rd down and 7.
On defense by the Wolverines.
Yeah, one thing Baldwin really needs to do is get behind number 72. Number 72 is Sterling Jenkins. He is 6'8", 300 pounds, and he is a massive child. I mean, he's only a junior, but he is one of the bigger players I've ever seen in the Whippeal.
Pass to the near side. It is complete as the pass goes to Nick Altavilla, and Altavilla is brought down after picking up a first down to the 43-yard line. And a pickup on that play of 10 yards.
And also Baldwin actually sports another really talented wide receiver in Luke Smorey. Luke has 26 receptions already for 468 yards and 7 total touchdowns.
Pistol formation, sidecar to the left. Straight drop back for Altavilla. Wide open in the middle of the field is the receiver, Josh Zinsmeister. Zinsmeister lost the football. Woodland Hills recovered it. The officials will say, though, that Zinsmeister is down. And that's a big pickup into Woodland Hills territory to the 35-yard line.
And that was a real breakdown in coverage by Woodland Hills. Zinsmeister, who's a tight end, just ran right up the middle of the field. When you get somebody open that wide open, Altavilla is not going to miss them. So Woodland Hills really needs to buckle down on their coverage.
17-yard pickup on that play. As again, it's Altavilla in the pistol with a back behind him. Handoff will go straight up the middle. Barca is the ball carrier, and he springs loose. He was initially bottled up in the backfield, but sprung his way loose for a pickup of about 3, and that brings up 2nd down and 7.
And Barca's just getting behind his offensive line, who's doing a great job of creating some lanes. He was able to elude the first tackler coming out of the backfield, but once he got through that, he was able to pick up a decent gain.
Woodland Hills paying a lot of attention to Luke Smorey, who was coming around for the end around, but did not take the handoff. Again, a pistol for Altavilla. The sidecar to his right in Elk, and the back behind him in Barca. 2 receivers to the right. Long handoff to the near side right. Checked out the carrier. The ball carrier is Luke Smorey, and Luke Smorey will carry the ball inside of the 25 to the 24-yard line. And right now, Baldwin is moving the football on this Woodland Hills defense.
Yeah, and I'm seeing a lot of missed tackles out there by the Woodland Hills defensive line and linebackers, which Dante Broadus and Deshaun Osbrooks are usually sure tacklers, but these running backs and quarterback and wide receivers from Baldwin are just getting a chance to get through them and get around them.
Smorey pickup of 8, and it's 1st and 10 at the 24. Pistol formation, sidecar to the left of Altavilla. He'll hand off to the tailback, Barca, who bounces it to the far side, and he will be strung out. Short gain on the play. Depends on the spot. It may be no gain, and it will be 2nd down and 10, as the officials say that Barca voluntarily retreated after picking up a yard or 2.
And that was a great open field tackle by Trayvon Mathis. he just stayed home. I mean, the run was designed to go inside and then bounce outside. It didn't fool Trayvon Mathis one bit. He stayed home and just made a nice open field tackle.
Just over 8 minutes to go in a scoreless first quarter here at the Wolverina. Altavilla in the pistol. Sidecar to his left, straight drop back, looks across the middle, and the pass intended for Zinsmeister is incomplete. Batting it to the turf, I believe, was Dante Broadus, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 10.
Dante Broadus just did a good job of retreating and trying to get some space. Altavilla was really lucky that Dante Broadus was only able to get one hand on that because, him being a wide receiver now, linebacker converted to a wide receiver. And he's caught, 4 passes so far this year and has done a great job. And Altavilla very lucky right now.
3rd and 10, pistol formation, 2 receivers right, 1 to the far boundary left. Barker behind Altavilla. He'll straight drop back, look across the middle, and the pass is bobbled, and they'll say caught by Luke Smory. Smory, who tipped the ball to himself, came to the turf 1 step away from Chris David, and it will be Woodland Hills trailing for the first time in a long time off of that long touchdown pass covering 24 yards.
Yeah, Woodland Hills did a great job of bringing pressure on Altavilla that time. He got him a little bit in his happy feet mode, but once he saw Smory wide open, well, I can't really say wide open because Chris David was pretty much there. He just pretty much threw up a long pass, and Smory was able to bring it in.
PAT is up and in for number 35, who naturally is not on our roster, and that's awesome. So with 7:57 to go in the first quarter, the scoreboard reads Baldwin 7 and Woodland Hills 0. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Highlanders on the Woodland Hills Football Network. A 24-yard touchdown pass from Doug Altavilla to Luke Smory puts Woodland Hills behind the 8 ball for the first time in a long time. PAT up and in for the Baldwin Highlanders, and with 7:57 to go in the first quarter, Woodland Hills finds their first deficit since the game against Bethel Park.
Yeah, Woodland Hills is right now, they're seeing how the other side lives, giving up some early points to see how well they can rebound after this touchdown.
A low squibbing kick that'll be picked up by Art Tompkins to the far sideline. He'll burst through a hole across the 40 and will step out of bounds at the 41-yard line. And the official will pull the ball back to the 40, where it'll be 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills. And Art Tompkins nearly burst one there to that far boundary.
And Woodland Hills just needs to understand that there's still almost 4 quarters left to go in this game. It's still early. They don't need to panic. They just need to buckle down and do what they've been doing in terms of offense, just maintaining the running game, throwing in a little bit of mix of pass when they can, and just driving down the field and putting some points on the board at the end of that drive.
So the Wolverines step out of the huddle for their first offensive play. 2 receivers left, 1 to the far boundary right. Shotgun formation, sidecars to either side of senior quarterback Harry Randall. Randall's going to keep it to the near side. He's hemmed in, now bursts through, still on his feet, and he'll pick up a yard across the 40, close to the 41-yard line. Blocking, breaking down on the left side of the Woodland Hills offensive line.
And that's one of the more impressive 1-yard runs I've ever seen out of Harry Randall, because he was pretty much in the crosshairs of a few Baldwin Highlanders, but he was able to elude at least 3 of them and get himself across the line of scrimmage to gain a yard.
2nd and 10, Woodland Hills.
So it's 2nd down and a long 9. Virtually 2nd and 10. Randall, he'll hand off. Sanders cutting it back. Now slipping through tacklers to the far sideline, picking up positive yardage as a flag flies from a mile away. This may be a face mask against Baldwin, as they'll mark Sanders down at the 48-yard line, 2 yards shy of the marker, but we'll have to check in with our referee to see what this infraction is.
Personal foul. Face mask, 15-yard penalty for the end of the run. 1st down offense.
So a 5-yard penalty or a 15-yard penalty after the nice carry there of 7 yards for Miles Sanders puts Woodland Hills inside of Baldwin territory at the 37-yard line.
And if Baldwin wants to keep this 7-point lead, they can ill afford to give Woodland Hills any type of foolish yardage, especially a 15-yard face mask penalty.
37-yard line of Baldwin. First and 10.
Randall in the shotgun again, sidecars to either side in Shaw and Sanders. Little slip screen to the near side for Tompkins. Tompkins inside of the 35, the 30, the 25, the 20, still on his feet to the 15, and he'll be marked down at the 14-yard line. A flag comes in the direction of Chris David, and this may be some sort of illegal block against the Wolverines. And it is holding against Woodland Hills. The initial spot was the 12-yard line. Let's see what the official has to say here.
Holding. Offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat, first down.
So you'll give Art Tompkins to the 20-yard line because that is where the foul was enforced. So that's a pickup of 17 yards on the passing play, and it'll be first down and 3 for Woodland Hills at the 30.
It looks like Chris David got a little bit of handsy on the jersey in that last play.
And Harry Randall, the ball carrier, picking up a yard inside of the 30 to the 29. And I'll tell you what, Fred, this Baldwin Highlanders team is pursuing to the football.
Yeah, they're doing a great job of getting to Harry Randall. With Harry Randall, he can slip through tacklers at any point. You really need to put a shoulder into him and then slow him up a little bit that you can get some gang tackling going on. That's really the way to contain Harry Randall at this point.
So second down and 2 for the Wolverines. The ball at the Baldwin 29. Woodland Hills down by 7. Randall in the shotgun. He'll hand off to Sanders on the counter. Straight up the middle. He's got room inside of the 20. Brought down near the 15-yard line. And that's more than enough for a Woodland Hills first down to pick up a 14 yards. It'll be first and 10 for the Wolverines inside of the Baldwin red zone.
Woodland Hills is going to their bread and butter play. Running play is the counter with big Amon Baldwin Youngblood, who pulls around to the right side and just clears a lane for Miles Sanders to pick up a nice first down.
Sanders, 2 carries, 22 yards. He is over 600 yards this season in 5 games, well on his way to the 1,000 that was his goal. Pistol formation for Woodland Hills with Sanders behind Randall. Handoff to Sanders, cutting it back and picking up positive yardage inside of the 15 to about the 13-yard line. It'll bring up second down and 8 for Woodland Hills.
And Baldwin's doing a really good job in their front 4 and front 7 of clogging up some running lanes for Miles Sanders. As well as Miles has done so far in this game, there's been a couple plays where Baldwin has taken advantage of their big front line and their front 7, actually.
So again, it's second and 8 for Woodland Hills with the ball at the 13-yard line. Just under 5 minutes to play in the first quarter. Woodland Hills trailing by 7, but threatening inside of the red zone. Again, the pistol. 2 receivers left. And Sanders will take the handoff, try to bounce it away from a Baldwin tackler. A flag came in as the ball was snapped. But a nice play in the backfield for the Highlanders defender. Making that play in the backfield was Jake Elk. We'll have to check in with our referee for this one.
Illegal formation against the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
So that'll be 5 yards from the 13.
Penalty is declined.
Baldwin will decline the
third
penalty
down
instead, Fred, and it'll be third down and 11 on that loss of 3 for Miles Sanders.
And Jake Elk just did a great job of reading the play, saw what was coming, knew his keys, and just came right up the field, blew past the center guard gap, and was able to get Miles Sanders in the backfield for a loss.
Joe Elshaw, personal protector for Harry Randall, twins to either side. Baldwin shows blitz. Harry Randall straight down the middle. It's in and out of the hands of Miles Sanders. Nice defense there by Gary Jackson. And that incomplete pass brings up fourth down and 11 for Woodland Hills.
And great job of Joe Elshaw picking up the defensive end coming on a blitz on that last play. Gave Harry Randall some time to survey the field. And like you said, it was a great defensive effort by number 1, Gary Jackson, Baldwin.
Woodland Hills, their first charge timeout.
Woodland Hills takes a break. We will too. It's Baldwin 7 and Woodland Hills 0. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Highlanders on the Woodland Hills Football Network. In the first quarter, Woodland Hills trailing Baldwin 7-0. Adam Gusky and Fred Guy on the call for you on the Woodland Hills Football Network. Woodland Hills facing a 4th down and 11 with the ball at their own 16-yard line. Again, twins to either side. Shaw, the personal protector for Randall. Baldwin shows blitz. Randall pressured, steps up into the pocket. He'll be wrapped, and he will be brought down at the line of scrimmage. A turnover on downs as Josh Zinsmeister makes the play for the Highlanders. And it's 1st and 10 for Baldwin at their own 16.
Yeah, and it looks like Baldwin has practiced their tackling this week, and that's exactly what you need to do against Woodland Hills if you're going to slow them down. If you need to really wrap up against Harry Randall, Miles Sanders, Art Tompkins, because if they score loose, they're going to gain some valuable yardage on you.
So Baldwin takes over at their own 16 for their second drive of the game. They drove the first opportunity 70 yards for a touchdown, capped off by a 24-yard pass from Altavilla. Altavilla looks to the left this time, and the Wolverines sniff it out. Chris David making the tackle on Jake Elk. Elk is met at the line of scrimmage for no gain, and it's 2nd down and 10.
It looks like Woodland Hills was running a little bit of a cover 2 on that one, because Chris David, as soon as he saw that his wide receiver was going downfield, he immediately stepped up, saw Elk was getting the ball, and made a nice open field tackle. And it looked like Elk came up a little bit limp on that last play.
Pistol formation, sidecar to the right of Altavilla. Altavilla will hand off. It's Elk, the fullback, and he is met at the line of scrimmage by a trio of Wolverines, including Dante Broadus and Devin Nixon. And it's 3rd down and about 9. They'll give Elk a yard on that carry.
And this is certainly the type of drive that the defense for Woodland Hills needs. They really need to get a 3-and-out, stop any momentum that Baldwin is starting to gain, and get the ball back into the hands of the offensive team.
3:03 on a rolling clock in the first quarter. Woodland Hills down 7-0. Pistol formation. Altavilla looks to his left, looks back to his right, and the pass is short, intended for Justin Zinsmeister, one of the 2 tight ends named Zinsmeister on this Baldwin team. And that incomplete pass brings the punt unit on the field for the team in white and purple.
And back to receive the punt is the ever-dangerous Harry Randall. For Luke Smorey's sake, I'm hoping he's going to kick the ball away from Harry Randall, but you never know. You can put the ball anywhere on the field and Randall might track it down.
Last week, Mount Lebanon kept it away from Randall. Plum paid the price when they did kick it to Randall 2 weeks ago. And Smorey will step into this one, an end-over-end kick that's sky high, and Randall will set up underneath it at the 47-yard line and is met immediately by a pair of white jerseys.
By Harry Randall near the Wolverine 47-yard.
Perchetti on the tackle for Baldwin, also in there. Enzo Lucido. And again, it's Woodland Hills with the football. Nice field position at their own 47.
Yeah, and that's extreme confidence by Harry Randall to get underneath that ball and make a nice catch with 2 Baldwin Highlanders right in his face.
So again, Woodland Hills with the ball at their own 47-yard line. Good starting field position for both Wolverine drives today, even though the Wolverines are down 7-0 with 2:45 to play in the first quarter. Trips to the right of Randall, 1 receiver to the near side left. And flags fly in. Woodland Hills points towards the Highlanders. We'll have to check in with our referee, but if that indication is correct, this is going to cost the Highlanders 5 yards.
Encroachment on the defense, a dead ball foul, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
So instead of 1st down and 10 at the 47, it's now 1st and 5 for the Wolverines at the Baldwin 48.
Yeah, it looks like Baldwin jumped off sides as the Woodland Hills offensive linemen were getting into their 3-point stance.
Now twins to either side for Randall, who's in the shotgun. Sidecar to his left in Shaw. Motion from left to right is Miles Sanders, bringing 3 to the right of the formation. Shaw taking the handoff, pounding his way forward inside of the 45 to the 44-yard line. It's a pickup of 4 for Joel Shaw, and it's 2nd down and 1 for the Wolverines.
Yeah, Joel Shaw was able to bust through the defensive line of Baldwin after being met initially at the line of scrimmage, but he had that full head of steam going and was able to close. I mean, he's pretty close to a first down at this point.
Gain of about 8 on the play.
2 receivers to either side again.
Correction, gain of 4.
David and Sanders to the near side. Shaw to the right of Harry Randall. Baldwin shows blitz. Sanders taking the end around on the jet motion. He'll step forward, bouncing to the outside, inside of the 45, the 40, the 35, and still on his feet as he's shoved out of bounds. They're going to say he stepped out at the 33-yard line, but that's more than enough for a Woodland Hills first down, a pickup of 11 for Miles Sanders.
And Baldwin did a good job of reading that play as it was developing. Miles Sanders just did a great job of eluding at least 3 or 4 Baldwin Highlanders, and if he would have picked up a block by Dante Broadus on the outside, it definitely would have springed him for a touchdown because he was well on his way.
So 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills with 1:58 to play in the first quarter. Woodland Hills down 7-0. Ball at the Baldwin 33. Harry Randall pass to the near side, a slip screen again for Art Tompkins inside of the 25, brought down inside of the 20 around the 17-yard line. Another first down as Harry Randall finds Art Tompkins again.
And that's going to be a dangerous play for Woodland Hills the rest of the season because you really have to respect the outside wide receivers for Woodland Hills. Chris David, Dante Broadus, Trayvon Mathis. Those guys can get past you and get past you fast. Chris David did a great job of just running off his cornerback, which enabled Art Tompkins to pick up, extra yardage at the end of that run.
David also did a nice job of picking up a block on Gary Jackson at the end of the run by Art Tompkins. Twins to the left of Harry Randall. Sidecars to either side in the shotgun. 1st and 10, ball at the 17. Tompkins fakes the end around. Instead, it'll go to Sanders. He'll power his way forward. Still on his feet inside of the 10. And he'll be brought down at the 7-yard line. And that'll be pretty close to a first down. We'll have to wait for the referee and his official spot. And it is a first down. 1st and goal for the Wolverines with the ball at the Baldwin 7.
Good job of offensive lineman and fullback clearing the way for Miles Sanders. And the one thing I like about Miles Sanders is his vision. He saw that there was nothing going on to his right once he got past the first wave of defenders, decided to cut it back in, got a couple extra yards, and got himself the first down.
Pistol formation with Sanders behind Randall. Slot to the near side left is Shaw. Double tight ends out there. Handoff. Sanders bouncing it to the outside. Cuts it back inside now. Inside of the 5, still on his feet. And into the end zone he will go for a Woodland Hills touchdown.
Now to the magician, Miles Sanders. Miles fights his way into the end zone for the Wolverine touchdown.
Miles Sanders weaved his way through tacklers, showed amazing balance and strength as he found his way into the end zone for the 7-yard touchdown run.
And Baldwin did a great job of pursuing Miles Sanders. Got a nice kick-out block by Joel Shaw, but there was 2 or 3 Baldwin Highlanders. Miles Sanders was able to get through 3 of them, twist and turn his way right into the end zone.
Aimed that ball out over the plane of the goal line. A high snap, the hold down by Randall, the kick up and in by Cassidy. And with 46.4 seconds to go in the first quarter, we are knotted up at 7 apiece. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Highlanders on the Woodland Hills Football Network. And we welcome you back to the Wolverina. A nice crowd on hand for homecoming as they brave the pregame raindrops to see their Woodland Hills Wolverines take on the Baldwin Highlanders. And Woodland Hills has tied this football game up at 7 apiece on a 7-yard touchdown run by Miles Sanders as he bounced it to the outside, then cut it back in. 5 white jerseys around him, but somehow he was able to maintain strength and balance, and into the end zone he went. Cassidy's PAT up and in made it 7-0. Adam Gusky and Fred Guy on the call for you all across the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Adam, usually we wait to see the offense or defense come onto the field, but, our biggest butterflies are now coming for when the kickoff team comes onto the field.
Good coverage team has been an issue the past 3 weeks. Cassidy will take an end-over-end kick to the far sideline where it'll be caught off of one bounce by Zinsmeister, and Zinsmeister retreating, nearly brought down inside of the 20, but will push his way out to that 20-yard line, where it will be first down and 10 for Baldwin on that far hash.
And that was an excellent kick by Cassidy. He got very lucky on the bounce off this turf, which caused it to come back into the field instead of going out of bounds, which, once Zinsmeister got it, he retreated a little bit. I mean, he had a Woodland Hills defender on his back, but Woodland Hills did a great job of converging and holding Baldwin deep in their own territory.
40 seconds to play in the first quarter. Again, we're tied up at 7 apiece. Trayvon Mathis nearly made a spectacular tackle on that kick return. Jet motion, instead it'll go up the middle. The ball carrier for the Baldwin Highlanders is the tailback, the lone setback in that backfield, and that is Nick Barca. Ian Barca carries the ball out towards the 24-yard line, a pickup of 4, and it is second down and 6.
Baldwin isn't getting a ton of yardage on first down, but they're getting adequate yardage on first down. Picking up 4 or 5 yards on first down is always a key to keep your drive successful for short to mid-range second down plays.
Altavilla in the pistol. This will be the last play of the first quarter. Handoff to Barca. He looks for the cutback, and he'll pick up about 2 across the 25 to the 26-yard line. And that is the final play of the quarter, with the score Woodland Hills 7 and Baldwin 7. You're tuned in to the Wolverines and the Highlanders on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network.
After 1 quarter of play.
And Baldwin knotted up as we are set to begin the second quarter here in Turtle Creek, Pennsylvania. A small but mighty crowd on hand making the trip from Baldwin, but a very nice crowd across the field for the Woodland Hills Wolverines.
And again, ladies and gentlemen,
Adam Dusky and Fred Guy on the call for you all across this Woodland Hills Football Network. And looking forward for the Wolverines, Fred, is the Cannon McMillan Big Max, a road game for Woodland Hills. And I'm not sure if Woodland Hills maybe started this game off, maybe overlooking Baldwin a little bit, but it seems like Woodland Hills has gotten their legs underneath them now.
Well, you really can't overlook this team. They have a good quarterback, a decent running back, and 2 talented wide receivers that can obviously burn you at any point. They did in the first half with the touchdown, and this is a far cry from what Woodland Hills experienced last week, going up 21-0 early, after 1 quarter. So Woodland Hills just needs to buckle down and do what they've been doing, but offensively they really need to sustain some drives.
Altavilla looking to the near side left. The pass intended for Luke Smory is incomplete. Trayvon Mathis reached around quickly, batted the ball to the turf, incomplete, and that brings up 4th down and 4, and the punt unit comes on again for the Baldwin Highlanders.
And that was an excellent coverage by Trayvon Mathis. We haven't really called his name too much this season. We're used to seeing him on offense, but he's done a great job in terms of defense and coverage because he's usually covering the best receiver for the opposing team.
No, we don't call his name a lot, much like you don't hear Ike Taylor's name called a lot in the NFL, because Trayvon Mathis is lined up against the best receiver on whoever Woodland Hills is playing against.
Timeout. Charged Baldwin. They're first.
So the Highlanders take a timeout as they look to punt it away, and we'll take a quick break as well. It's 7-7. You're tuned in to the Wolverines and the Highlanders on the Woodland Hills Football Network. A quick timeout for the Highlanders. Luke Smory booms into a punt that'll carry inside of the Woodland Hills 35 to the 33-yard line, where Harry Randall fair catches it. And Woodland Hills will have the ball first down and 10 at their own 33-yard line, looking to take the lead for the first time today. Right now the score is 7-7. Baldwin came out early, kind of stunned Woodland Hills. Wolverines rocked back on the heels for a moment, but recovered on their second offensive drive. And let's see if the Wolverines can keep things rolling here on offense.
Yeah, I believe this is their third possession so far. One turnover on downs, and then another drive that ended in a touchdown. Woodland Hills just needs to really be consistent, and they're doing a great job of ball control. Actually, both these teams are right now.
Woodland Hills did drive the ball inside of Baldwin territory to the 16 before turning it over on downs. Randall out of the shotgun, looks to the left. The pass intended for Chris David is high and incomplete. Gary Jackson on the coverage for Baldwin. And that is the second incompletion today for Harry Randall. Randall 2 of 4 today for 33 yards. Both completions have gone to Art Tompkins on bubble screens.
Yeah, the one thing that I've noticed with Woodland Hills offense this year as opposed to last year is their main passing play was the waggle play. With Cody McClellan, they've taken that out of the playbook, which I'd like to see them bring it back because they have Joel Shaw, they have Mike Smith, they have some good, talented, under receivers like the tight ends and the fullbacks that could make that play really work.
Motion man from right to left is Tompkins. Handoff will go up the middle. Joel Shaw running through a Baldwin Highlander, and Shaw will be brought down after a 6-yard pickup to the 39-yard line, and that brings up 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, number 18, Zinsmeister, is the one that took the brunt of that Joel Shaw run, and kudos to Zinsmeister for sticking with Shaw and getting him to the turf because, once Joel Shaw gets rolling, it's hard to get him to stop.
There's Justin Zinsmeister, one of 2 Zinsmeisters out there on the field. One a junior, one a senior. You assume they are brothers. They both play tight end and linebacker. And there's a stoppage out there. I'm not quite sure why.
Thought it might have been an equipment malfunction.
Well, now they will wind the clock down towards 11 minutes to play in the second quarter. Woodland Hills faces a 3rd and 4 at their own 39. Randall, hard count. Counter handoff. Miles Sanders leaps over a man at the 40-yard line, and he will be brought down along the near side. He has enough for the first down. He lost the football, but I think Sanders was down. Either way, it'll be 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills at the 44-yard line, a pickup of 5 for Miles Sanders.
Yeah, it was a great job of Miles Sanders of leaping over Baldwin defender Luke Smorey. Was lucky enough to get the first down and also maintain possession as he took a nice shot from number 22, Elk.
That ball did come loose, so it rolled out of bounds straight away, and that kept the first down for the Wolverines at the 44. So it's 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills. Clock stopped with 10:51 to play in the second quarter. And whistles blow. I don't think Woodland Hills had the proper formation out there. And Coach Novak
timeout called by Woodland Hills. Their second.
The Wolverines take a timeout with a 1st down and 10 at their own 44. The score, Woodland Hills 7 and Baldwin 7. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Highlanders on the Woodland Hills Football Network. Seven to 7 is the score. Woodland Hills has the ball at their own 44-yard line. 1st down and 10 with 10:50 to play in the second quarter. Adam Gusky and Fred Guy on the call for you all across the Woodland Hills Football Network. Another beautiful night for high school football in western Pennsylvania. An unseasonably warm 73 degrees, and more unseasonable is the humidity, well into the 70%. Of course, an artificial surface here at the Wolverina. Some rain before the game made it a little slick. Harry Randall on the design keep to the left side. Had a crease for a moment, but was closed up quickly by Devontae Evans. But Randall will still pick up positive yardage to the 47-yard line, a pickup of 3. Makes it 2nd down and 7.
And I'm still impressed on how well the defense for Baldwin is playing. They're not giving Miles Sanders or Harry Randall much running room, and these yards that these guys are gaining today are very, very tough yards.
Devontae Evans, defensive tackle, 6'1", 235, a junior. Side coach to either side of Randall, 2 receivers to the right. Handoff will go to Sanders. He'll cut it back, drive his way forward, and he will nearly break loose inside of Baldwin territory, but he will be tripped up before springing loose at the 44-yard line of the Baldwin Highlanders.
There's a Wolverine shaking up on the play.
And a Woodland Hills Wolverine is down, and that appears to be Joel Shaw right at the 50-yard line. And the medical staff for Woodland Hills comes out to check on Shaw, but let's take this opportunity to take a look at this television replay as again Miles Sanders magically slipping through tacklers and finally being brought down by an ankle tackle by Nick Altavilla. And it'll be 1st down and 10 for the Wolverines at the 44. Medical staff checking on Joel Shaw, so we'll take a break. You're tuned in to the Wolverines and the Highlanders with the score tied up at 7 apiece right here on the Woodland Hills Football Network. Joel Shaw able to get to his feet after being shaken up. Heads to the sideline under his own power with a little hitch in his giddy up, and he will jog to the far boundary, and that's good news for Wolverine fans that the sophomore H-back most likely will be able to return to the lineup. Adam Dusky, Fred Guy on the call for you. And Fred, right now, Woodland Hills, their offense is rolling.
Yeah, they're doing a great job of just sustaining drives. They're getting the first downs that they need. Baldwin's done a great job of bottling Harry Randall and Miles Sanders, excuse me. And they're not letting them get the big explosive yards that we're used to see these guys getting.
Last carry for Miles Sanders, a 9-yard pickup, and it's 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills at the Baldwin 44-yard line. Just under 10 minutes to play on a rolling clock in the second quarter. Sidecars to either side of Randall, twins to the left of the formation. Randall will hand off to Tompkins coming on the end around. Tompkins hemmed in, drives his way forward, and it could have been a loss of 6. Instead, it'll be a loss of just 1 yard. As Art Tompkins on the end around coming to the near side had to make some moves to prevent a big loss.
Yeah, Art Tompkins actually had a lot of green to that right side of the field, but number 22 for Baldwin, Elk, did a great job of just staying home, reading the play, and basically hemmed Tompkins in. And, you know, fortunate for Woodland Hills, it was just a short game, but it could have been a lot worse.
Tompkins and Randall didn't connect cleanly on the handoff on that end around. So the 1-yard loss brings up 2nd down and 11, ball at the Baldwin 45. Randall off of play action, steps up into the pocket, still on his feet, lost the football as he was brought down at the 49-yard line. Baldwin said they got the football, but the officials say Randall is down, and it will be a loss of 6 as Randall is sacked.
Yeah, Harry Randall is actually carrying that ball very loosely right now. He really needs to secure the ball. I mean, the ball has come out a couple times from Woodland Hills running backs and Harry Randall. They really need to secure the football right now.
So 3rd down and 17 for Woodland Hills with the ball at their own 49-yard line. The Wolverines have pushed the ball to the Baldwin 44, but have gone backwards on their last 2 plays. Jimmy Rooney leads the Wolverines out of the huddle. Twins to either side, sidecar to the left of Randall. Randall, straight drop back, throwback screen to Miles Sanders. And the Baldwin Highlanders saw it coming from a mile away. Making the play in the backfield is Justin Zinsmeister. A loss of 3 on the play, making a loss of 2 on the play. And it will be 4th down and 19.
Yeah, Woodland Hills did an excellent job of setting up that screenplay, but you know, that wasn't fooled by the Baldwin Highlanders. Number 18, Zinsmeister stayed home, made a good, secure, short tackle against Miles Sanders.
Dante Broadus will punt it away. Baldwin anticipated a fake, but when they saw Broadus come out there, they sent Smory back to return the punt. And a nice kick by Broadus takes a Baldwin bounce at the 15-yard line, and it will be down at the 16 by Mike Smith. And it will be 1st down and 10 for Baldwin at their own 16. Woodland Hills has seen their offense get rolling and then stymie 2 out of their 3 opportunities today.
Yeah, and you really have to give a lot of credit to the Baldwin Highlanders. They're just doing a great job of doing their homework during this past week of practice, of just reading the keys, knowing the keys, and staying home and not being faked out or fooled by any plays that Woodland Hills has come up with.
Baldwin to football at their own 16-yard line. This is the 2nd time today they've started at their own 16. Altavilla in the pistol, sidecar to his right. Altavilla off of play action, straight drop back, late pressure. He'll step up into the pocket, run to the far sideline, and step out of bounds right around the 20-yard line. The officials will give him the 21, and that's a pickup of 5 for Altavilla, his first carry of the game.
And that was a good job of Altavilla of trying not to force any errant throws and just being smart, tucking the ball, and getting himself some positive yards on 1st down.
So it's 2nd down and 5 for Baldwin with the ball at their own 21-yard line. Clock is stopped right now with 7:20 to play in the 2nd quarter. Woodland Hills and Baldwin knotted up at 7 apiece. Twins to the left of the formation. Again, Altavilla in the pistol with a sidecar to his left. Handoff will go to Smory, and Smory is met deep in the backfield, eludes one Wolverine, and that may have been a mistake because he is going to be driven back by a trio of other Wolverines. A flag is down at the 21-yard line, and the spot, for some reason, is around the 12-yard line. It should be closer to the 10 as Smory escaped the first Woodland Hills on the spot. But we'll have to check to see what this penalty is right at the initial line of scrimmage.
There is a flag on the play.
And it's holding against Baldwin, the initial call. And Woodland Hills.
Holding. Offense. Penalties decline. Third down.
It's a loss of 9 for Smorey. It should have been more of a loss of about 11. And Smorey was still alive and trying to drive his way forward around the 10-yard line.
It looks like the side judge came in, and where he was initially hit in the backfield, it looks like that's where they gave him forward progress. And then, like we're seeing now, the whole gang of Woodland Hills defenders came and got on top of Smorey.
Again, a loss of 9. Devin Nixon was the first Wolverine to the football. A snap is low. Altavilla has to pick it up now, scrambles to his right. He'll heave-ho it out there. He has a receiver open along that far boundary, and Nick Altavilla, but the pass falls to the turf, incomplete. And a broken play nearly turned into a big play for Baldwin, but the incomplete pass brings the punt unit out.
And that wasn't a bad pass by Altavilla. I thought Nick, his brother, I'm assuming it's his brother, made a bad adjustment on the throw because he was behind Chris David as he was running down the field and just made a bad adjustment to a nice throw.
2 Altavillas, 2 Zinsmeisters on the field most of the time for Baldwin. 6:47 to go. The clock is stopped. Baldwin with a 4th and 14 at their own 12. Smorey, a spiraling punt will be returned by Harry Randall starting at his own 44. Bouncing to the far sideline. Looks for the cutback. And he's still on his feet at the 50-yard line. Finds a hole. 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, end zone, touchdown. Harry Randall ran 100 yards on a 60-yard punt return.
I'm sitting here smiling at him because that was fantastic. He took the ball on the Baldwin sideline, ran across to his sideline, couldn't find anything open, picked up some nice blocks, found a seam that was so wide and was able to exploit it. And wow, I say this every week and he amazes me, but this was just another play where it just, you have to shake your head.
It was absolutely amazing. Harry Randall, 56-yard punt return for a touchdown. And the PAT up and in for Donald Cassidy. And with 6:26 to play in the second quarter, it is Woodland Hills leading Baldwin 14-7. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Highlanders on the Woodland Hills Football Network. A 56-yard punt return for a touchdown by Harry Randall. Puts Woodland Hills on top for the first time today, 14-7. And folks on the television replay, watch the magic done by Harry Houdini as he ran to the left, saw white jerseys impeding his progress, and then cut back to the right, squeaked through a hole, and then he was off to the races.
Yeah, he had one defender trailing him, which I thought probably could have made a play, but once he got past that defender and found that seam, he was gone.
How about that burst by Randall at the 45 when he saw the hole? That was something we didn't see the first 2 weeks of the year.
Yeah, he's definitely, those ill effects that he had the first 2 weeks with that knee, I think are long gone.
Again, Cassidy with a squibbing kick. It'll bounce off the chest of one of the guys in the middle of the field for Baldwin, and then will be recovered by Justin Zinsmeister at the 33, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Baldwin at their own 33.
And those are the types of plays that Woodland Hills needs to help deflate a team like Baldwin, who has had limited success against Woodland Hills. You get a play like that where you think you have their key player surrounded and down for a tackle, and he bursts through your team like that, that can definitely deflate you and get your head down to start, to go through the rest of the game.
Third straight week, Woodland Hills has a special teams touchdown, and 2 out of the past 3 weeks, it's been Harry Randall on the punt return. Draw handoff on a little bit of misdirection. The Wolverines sniff it out, though. Barca is the ball carrier, and he is brought down 1 yard deep in the backfield. Woodland Hills was all over that one. James Eggleston had made the initial penetration, and the other defensive tackle on the left side was also in there on the play.
And that's what we really need to see from the front 3 of Woodland Hills in terms of the nose tackle or nose guard and 2 quote-unquote defensive ends. They really need to get some penetration, especially on run plays, and try to slow these running backs down.
Barca with 11 yards on the ground on 7 carries. Zinsmeister, Altavilla pass to the near side for Smorey is caught A nice job by Smory to adjust to the lobbing pass. Trayvon Mathis on the coverage. There's a flag down back at the 37-yard line. And it came from an official along the near side. And this could go either way. This could be a legal man downfield against Baldwin, or it could be holding against Woodland Hills, and that's what it's going to be. So you have to assume Baldwin is going to decline this one.
Holding against the defense. That penalty is declined. First down.
I think the guilty Wolverine is going to be Art Tompkins. He was covering the inside receiver and was pushing him. Got a good push on him on the bump and run coverage, but got flagged for the holding call on that last play.
18-yard pickup, second catch of the day for Smory. He now has 42 yards. Dropping back is Altavilla, and he will throw the ball to the far sideline. It was a design screen as Smory motioned from left to right to the right of the formation, and as Altavilla dropped back, there was all kinds of pressure coming from Kyra McLean and Devin Nixon, and that incomplete pass brings up second down and 10 for the Highlanders at the 50-yard line.
Yeah, it was actually a great job of the pressure that Woodland Hills was bringing against Altavilla, but it was actually a heads-up play by Altavilla to not try to dump it off to Smory, knowing that there were several Wolverines in the area, and just throw it out of bounds, and did a great job of just throwing it out of bounds for a second down play.
Smory is the quarterback this time on a wildcat formation, and Smory is met 1 yard deep in the backfield. The ball squirted loose as James Eggleston made the tackle. He ripped the ball away from Smory, and looks like Baldwin fell on top of the football. I'm not sure if they're going to credit the fumble or they're going to say that Smory was down, but either way, a nice play by Eggleston.
Yeah, the one thing I noticed on that last play is Altavilla, who's the quarterback, went out to the wide receiver position, and as you're looking at the replay, I'm really glad that Luke Smory got up, because how his knee was twisted, you'll see it on the TV replay. It looked really bad, but I'm glad to see that he got up and was able to get back into this game.
Doug Altavilla back in at quarterback in the pistol. Twins to the right, one receiver to the near side left. Altavilla straight drop back, he's pressured, he's hit, and he is brought down. And they are going to throw a flag on James Eggleston. And from our angle we couldn't see, but maybe it was a face mask against Eggleston. The initial contact was by a Kyra McLean, and we are obviously going to have to check on the TV replay.
Horse collar tackle, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Repeat, third down.
Horse collar tackle, fairly new to the high school rules. They instituted it in the NFL a few years back, and it had been in the college ranks for a while. Let's take a look here and see if that was the case. Eggleston, yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what happened. He just grabbed a hold of the back of the jersey and the back of the shoulder pads. And instead of a big sack by Eggleston, it will be third down and short for the Baldwin Highlanders. 3rd and 1 at the 41-yard line.
Well, Adam, my assumption of the rule is if it's a personal foul, I thought that was an automatic first down.
That's not what the officials have indicated as of right now. 3rd down.
Wow.
And the clock will wind. The official confirms it. 4:35 to play. Woodland Hills up by 7, 14-7 with 4.5 minutes to go. 3rd down and 1 for Baldwin, with the ball at the Woodland Hills 41-yard line. Pistol formation. And down to the right. And there's Suda of Altavilla. And a broken play. Barco didn't take the handoff. Altavilla, though, was smart enough to trail the play, get past the line of scrimmage, and get to the 40-yard line, where it'll be a first down for Baldwin. Most likely it is. A pickup of 1 for Altavilla.
That, I thought, was a little bit of a generous spot, considering where the both side judges came in, and they looked like they were behind, right at the 40-yard line, maybe a little bit behind. But when I saw that ball placed in front of the 40-yard line, I kind of figured it was a first down from there.
Altavilla's knee went down. The ball was shy of the 40. A low pistol snap. Altavilla is hit as he releases the football to the far sideline. And it's batted by Trayvon Mathis, but then caught by Luke Smory. Mathis, who had it in his grip for a minute, then saw Smory catch it behind him. And a Baldwin Highlander is shaken up at the 40-yard line, and the training staff is out there. It's the second time today we have seen Smory do a nice job of catching a batted pass.
Excellent concentration by Smory. Altavilla just threw that up. He knew he had one-on-one coverage with Trayvon Mathis and just decided to throw the ball up, a 50-50 ball. Trayvon Mathis did a great job of trying to bat that ball to the turf. Kind of went through his hands right into Smory's. A fortunate play for Baldwin, but Woodland Hills that really needs to step up on defense in this goal line situation.
It'll be first and goal at the 5 for Baldwin when we return to live action. Some fog rolling in here at the Wolf Arena, and a Highlander is shaken up at the 45-yard line. And at least for now, we will keep it here. And Fred, right now, Woodland Hills finding some bumps in the road, some unexpected bumps, if you will.
Yeah, and it looks like they're making penalties in situations where they can get out of, get their defense off the field, get their offense back on the field. But a horse collar tackle, which caused a 15-yard penalty, and a 10-yard holding penalty on Art Tompkins has really extended this drive for Baldwin.
And it is Zinsmeister who's to his feet and to the near sideline. Good news for the Baldwin Highlanders, but bad news for Woodland Hills right now as they are backed up with their backs against the wall. It's first down and goal for the for the Highlanders at the Woodland Hills 5-yard line.
Yeah, and Baldwin has done it on the ground and has done it through the air. They're getting good yardage against this defense. Even though they've only put up, Woodland Hills has only given up 7 points, and that 7 points was via the pass, but Baldwin has done a good job on the ground as well.
Altavilla now over 100 yards passing. He's thrown for 109 thus far. And Luke Smory, 3 of those catches for 77 yards. Pistol formation, sidecar to the left. It's Smory, the ball carrier, bouncing it to the near side. Eludes one Wolverine, eludes a second. Tries to cut his way into the end zone and will get inside of the pylon to the near corner. And we are a PAT away from a tie ball game. Well, this is certainly not what we anticipated, as Woodland Hills came into the game facing a team that was 2-3 on the year, coming off of a 44-0 loss to Upper St. Clair.
And the one thing we did know that Baldwin was, and they are able to put points on the board, even in their losses with the exception of last week, they've done a good job of putting points on the board against some really good teams.
PAT up and in. Kashad Osbrooks nearly got a hold of it, but did not. And with 3:34 to play in the second quarter, it is Baldwin 14 and Woodland Hills 14. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Highlanders on the Woodland Hills Football Network. Hills, whose defense has been on a bit of a roller coaster. Surprise onside, but Woodland Hills came up with the football. Smory nearly had it, but a strong 3:32 to play in the first half. Harry Randall, straight drop back. Throws it down the near side right. The pass was between Broadus and Tompkins. I'm not sure who the intended receiver. Minus 1 yard, but he also has a 56-yard punt return for a TD. Randall. Little screen to the far side for Miles Sanders. Eludes one man, spins past the second, inside of the 40, the 35, the 30, the 25, and he'll step out of bounds along that far sideline. They're going to say
end this drive and end the half with a touchdown.
20-yard pass play from Randall to Sanders. Trips to the right. Handoff. Joel Shaw powering his way forward down to the 25-yard line. Shaw was shaken up and old enough to drive. Trips to the right of the formation. Sidecar to the left of Harry Randall. Joel Shaw won't take the handoff. Instead, it's Harry Randall going forward, bouncing it to the outside, inside of the 20, spun down at the 15-yard line. A pickup of 10 everywhere. Trips to the right of the formation again. Randall with a sidecar to his right, and Joel Shaw. And movement along that front line.
Dead ball, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Two out of their offense. Baldwin's bringing over 4 defenders to the right side.
And they do just that as the pass is complete to Chris David, still on his feet inside of the 5 and into the end zone. He will go for the 20-yard Woodland Hills touchdown. Fred, that's the second time.
Spot. Chris David made a couple nifty moves and got himself right into the end zone.
20-yard touchdown From Randall to David, the PAT by Cassidy's up and in with 1:48 to...
Again, folks, we have this gray Dodge Caravan license plate BRF.
One situation against Baldwin, and it was an excellent catch because that ball was a little bit thrown behind Chris David, but he made a nice adjustment and got himself into the end zone.
Cassidy, who's perfect 3 of 3 today on PATs, will kick this one, a high-end over-end kick that will be returned by Zinsmeister, and Zinsmeister finds open field, and then he is hit end over end by Donald Cassidy. Well, Cassidy didn't like that his teammates broke down, and he made the big play at the 44. Second, but Cassidy instead made the splash play as Zinsmeister went end over end. 1st and 10 for the Highlanders, the ball at their own 44. Shotgun formation, pass to the near side left. The pass is complete to Nick Altavilla, and Altavilla sliding through Woodland Hills tacklers. He slid through DeJean.
No huddle right now.
Plays 2nd and 3 Baldwin.
So the Altavilla brothers connect there. Now Doug Altavilla again in the shotgun with the sidecar to his right, twins to either side. He's pressured, runs to the near side, still on his feet. He has enough for the first down inside of the 45 to the 44-yard.
Ball tucked and ran.
Altavilla in the shotgun, twins to either side again. Straight drop back, pressure, wrapped, sacked. Dante Broadus brought him down at the midfield stripe.
In the backfield by Dante.
The field we go where it is 2nd down and 15 for the Highlanders. With the ball at the Woodland Hills 49. Altavilla in the shotgun, pressured, screen to the near side. The pass is complete to Barca. Barca is tripped up, and a nice open field tackle by DeJean Brown.
Brown on the tackle.
Twins to either side as Altavilla corrals the shotgun snap. The pass is batted at the line of scrimmage. It's caught by an offensive lineman, and that big rumbling offensive lineman is brought down at the 40.
On those jumps as well.
His instincts are terrific. He retreats when he sees he's not going to make the sack. This will be the last play of the half. A pass is complete to Smory from Altavilla. Smory still on his feet, and he will be brought down at the 30-yard line. A stat sheet stuffer. Adam Gusky and Fred Guy on the call for you all across the Woodland Hills Football Network. And Woodland Hills has done some great things in that first half. They moved the ball offensively pretty efficiently. They were stymied a couple of times, but were able to get
half. And Woodland Hills defensively just needs to cover their receivers a little bit better. It seems like when they're covered and when Woodland Hills can get some pressure on Altavilla, he gets a little rattled, and you can get him for a sack or a potential interception.
A week ago, we saw Art Tompkins begin the second half with a kickoff return for a touchdown. The deep men right now are Sanders and Randall. They stand back at their own 20, and it will be Smory booting this one to the near side, where it'll be returned by a Wolverine up man, Jihad Brown, and Brown is brought down at the 49-yard line. And again, great starting field position for the Wolverines.
And the short kicks can work, either to your advantage or disadvantage. In this situation, the disadvantage for Baldwin because Woodland Hill starts, on their own 49-yard line, almost in Baldwin territory. But in the same respect, if you get a bounce off of a Wolverine defender, it can come back into your hands, and you have the ball inside the Woodland Hills territory.
James Rooney stepping over the football. Twins to the right, one receiver to the near side left. Sidecars to either side of Randall. Handoff. Sanders driving his way forward. Maybe getting back to the line of scrimmage. We'll have to see where the spot goes. Sanders still on his feet as he came out of a pile with the football, but the officials blew the whistle, and Miles Sanders with a rare loss on the play.
I'm sorry.
Miles Sanders, 10 carries, 62 yards, and a touchdown today.
Yeah, Baldwin's just doing a great job right now of penetrating the offensive line of Woodland Hills. I mean, you got a couple, at least one 300-pounder, a couple guys that are in the high 200s, and they're just doing a good job of pushing the offensive line of Woodland Hills around right now.
Two receivers to the near side left, one to the far, numbers right. Sidecars to either side of Randall. Hard count, the right guard moved. Flags flew from everywhere, and James Rooney, the leader of that offensive line, gives his teammate Victor Bill Berry.
Dead ball, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
So instead of 2nd and 11, it's 2nd down and 16. For Woodland Hills, the ball now back at their own 43-yard line.
Hills 2nd and 16, Wolverines.
Wolverines come out with the same formation. Two receivers left, one to the far, numbers right. Sidecars to either side of Harry Randall. Hard count by Randall. Off of play action. Randall steps up into the pocket, now retreats to the far side. And he will be hit, he will be wrapped, and he will be sacked. Harry Randall didn't have anybody to throw the football to and would have been well served to take off running when he first thought about doing so.
Randall wrapped up in the backfield by Jake Elk.
Yeah, Elk, number 22 for Baldwin, is having a tremendous game for Baldwin on defense. I mean, he's played a little bit of running back, but where he's doing the most damage against this Wolverine offense. He's just doing a great job of staying home. He's finding ways to get into the backfield from his middle linebacker position and just wreaking havoc for Sanders and Randall.
Harry Randall, with that loss of 6, now has 7 carries for just 3 yards today. Though passing the football, he's done pretty well. 5 of 8 for 71 yards and a TD. So it is 3rd down and 21. The ball back at the 37. Randall, straight drop back, steps up into the pocket. Has all kind of time, but didn't make a decision fast enough to run for the 2nd straight play. And that'll be a loss of 7 yards back to the 30-yard line. And Randall's got to get rid of the football or start running a lot faster. And another Highlander is shaken up as the punt unit will come out for the Wolverines.
Yeah, like you mentioned, Adam, Harry Randall's just taking too much time back there. I think he's trying to wait for things to develop a little too long. And once he doesn't see anything, he's dancing. He's trying to try to see if anybody can get open. But once he doesn't see anybody open, he's best served to just tuck the ball and run. He's done a great job with that all year. He makes a snap decision. If it's not there, he runs. The last couple of dropbacks, he hasn't done that.
Athletic training staff from both teams out there, and team physician Chris Harner is out there taking a look at the injured Highlander as well. And this looks like this may be a little bit of a lengthy injury timeout, so we will take this opportunity to take a break. Again, the score 21-14, Woodland Hills with the lead over Baldwin. You're tuned in to the Wolverines and the Highlanders on the Woodland Hills Football Network. Chris Harner, and now it's 4th down and 29 for Woodland Hills. And as our focus shifts back to the field, the ball at their own 30. Broadus will punt it away for the 2nd time today. This a spiraling kick that will be returned by the Baldwin Highlanders. And on that return for Baldwin is Brandon Schleeker. And Schleeker is brought down at the 44-yard line, where it will be 1st down and 10 for Baldwin. And now it's gut check time for the Woodland Hills defense. Woodland Hills with a slim 7-point advantage.
Yeah, they really need to step up right now from a bad offensive perspective that they bad offensive drive that they just had to just have to do something against Altavilla. Find a way to stymie him, get in his face, put those hands up that Eggleston's been doing with batting the balls down. Anything that can get them a 3 and out, get the offense back on the field.
Altavilla straight drop back, had some time momentarily. Now will throw it to the near side, and is Smory on a comebacker. Trayvon Mathis ran past Smory, and Smory jumped up, grabbed a hold of the football, and is brought down at the 25-yard line. And the Baldwin Highlanders have it 1st and 10 inside of Woodland Hills territory.
Yeah, Altavilla just basically threw up a prayer on that last play. Great heads-up play by Smory to sight recognition, knew the ball was going to be underthrown. Basically got rid of Trayvon Mathis, came back to the ball, and Chris David made a nice touchdown-saving tackle.
31-yard pass as the ball carrier is Nick Barca, and Barca is brought down after a pickup of 4. Tackle on the play for the Wolverines by Jordan Lee.
Barca tackled by Sangana of the Wolverines.
Barca pick up of 4. He now has 15 yards on the ground.
Well, let's see at this point if Woodland Hills defense has a bend but don't break kind of mentality. Baldwin's doing a good job of just pushing the ball down the field. Woodland Hills really needs to step up on these next couple of plays.
Barca the ball carrier, and he will carry the ball inside of the 15 to the 13-yard line before being brought down by a pair of Wolverines, including Trayvon Mathis. But that's certainly enough for the 1st down. On the 21 down to the 14, a pickup of 7.
And right now, the offensive line of Baldwin is just really pushing around the front 7 of Woodland Hills, enabling Barker to get that first down.
Doug Altavilla, the quarterback for Baldwin. 11 of 16 today for 167 in the air. In the pistol formation with 2 receivers to the right. High snap, he'll hand off to Barca. Barca is tripped up a yard deep in the backfield by Deshaun Osbrooks. And they'll say that Barker got back to the line of scrimmage at a loss of a half a yard, and it was 2nd down and 11.
Yeah, we really don't give Deshaun Osbrooks enough credit for what he does on this Woodland Hills defense. He's been asked to do all the dirty work, all the blitzing against the run, blitzing against blockers that are twice his size. But he's done a great job for Woodland Hills all season long with just being consistent.
Low snap, Smorey looking across the middle. The pass is intended for Bill Howley, incomplete. On the coverage for Woodland Hills was Jahan Brown, and it's 3rd down and 11. Smorey, his first pass attempt of the day.
And looks like Smorey can do it all. He can pass, he can run, and he can certainly catch the ball. I was kind of shocked that Smorey threw that ball. Didn't really know he was a left-hander.
Smorey with 5 catches today for 122 yards, but now the quarterback again is Doug Altavilla in the pistol. Altavilla finds Smorey cutting towards the post, and Smorey will be brought down shy of the goal line, but it's 1st and goal for the Baldwin Highlanders at the 2-yard line. A pickup of 12, and Smorey now with 6 catches for 134 yards.
And Baldwin looks like they caught Woodland Hills in a linebacker stunt, and then Smorey seemed to have just broken off his route, and if it wasn't for the 5-yard line that tripped him up, he probably would be standing in the end zone right now.
179 yards in the air for Altavilla, and a timeout is called, and I think it came from the far sideline. And Woodland Hills will take a timeout, and we will too. Again, it's 21-14. Woodland Hills with the lead over the Baldwin Highlanders with 7:02 to play in the 3rd quarter. But the Highlanders threaten inside of the Wolverines 5. We're tuned into the Wolverines and the Highlanders on the Woodland Hills Football Network and MSA Sports. Russ? Hello? Yeah, I didn't hear anything. Pistol formation. Altavilla, high snap, looks to the near side, right for Smorey. It's intercepted by Chris David. Woodland Hills has the football back. Chris David, man on man with Smorey, and makes the play.
Yeah, that was just a bad pass by Altavilla, one of a few that he's thrown in this second half. It looked like it was a fade route that was severely underthrown. Chris David made a great catch and did a great job of keeping his feet in bounds to preserve that interception.
So it'll be a touchback after the INT. Well, the Wolverines bent but didn't break because of Chris David, his 3rd takeaway in as many weeks.
1st and 10, Woodland Hills from their own 20-yard line.
The Wolverines looking to build on this lead, but they are 80 yards away from pay dirt with just under 7 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. Woodland Hills in the shotgun. Handoff. That'll go to Miles Sanders, and he will drive his way forward across the 25 to the 27-yard line. Josh Zinsmeister makes the tackle, loses his lid, and he'll have to sit out for a play.
Yeah, during that last replay, I was looking at the pass, and even if Smorey would have caught the ball, it would have been an incompletion because he had stepped out of bounds before coming back into bounds.
Clock winding with 6.5 minutes to go in the 3rd frame. Woodland Hills up by 7, 21-14. Wolverines dodge a bullet, an interception by Chris David after the Highlanders drove the ball all the way to the Woodland Hills 2. Shotgun formation. 2 receivers right, 1 to the near side left. Motion man from right to left is Tompkins. Handoff will go to Joel Shaw. Shaw barreling forward across the 35 to the 37, make it the 38-yard line, and it will be 1st and 10 for the Wolverines on the 10-yard pickup.
Yeah, it just goes to show that that first half injury by Joe Shaw has no ill effect on him. He just basically took the ball, followed some of his blockers, and then once the blockers were gone, he picked up another 3 yards on his own, barreling over people.
37-yard line.
Woodland Hills out of the huddle. 2 receivers left, one to the far boundary right. Sidecars to either side of Randall in Shaw and Sanders. Tompkins motions from left to right. Handoff. Sanders, big hole. 40, 45, 50, 45, 40. Still on his feet, 35, 30. And he will be brought down at the Baldwin 26-yard line. There was a gaping hole, and Sanders took advantage.
Yeah, Woodland Hills just ran another counter play. Miles Sanders just hit that hole and hit it hard. And I thought he was going to split the last 2 defenders, and that would have been pretty, but good job of Baldwin of bringing him down. Excellent job by Sanders just to get himself into that position.
38-yard carry for Miles Sanders, and Miles Sanders now goes over the 100-yard mark. 107 rushing to go along with a touchdown. Miles Sanders over 700 yards in the first 6 games of the year. Motion man from right to left is Tompkins. Handoff. Sanders bouncing it to the outside. Looks for the cutback. Squeaks through a hole. He'll spin his way forward to the 20-yard line. A pickup of 5 for Miles Sanders. 112 for Miles Sanders on the ground. And the Wolverines got it moving now.
Yeah, the cutback speed that Miles Sanders has. He can basically stop on a dime and change directions without actually losing too much speed, which is very rare among athletes. But he does a great job of stopping, making people miss, finding little holes and bursts through them, and then gets Woodland Hills some decent yardage on first down.
He breaks down and has those choppy steps so quickly. I mean, for a sophomore to have that kind of instinct to do things like that is incredible. 2nd and 5, and Coach Novak wants to talk things over with his team.
Timeout, Woodland Hills.
21-14 is your score with 4:26 to play in the 3rd quarter. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Highlanders on the MSA Sports Network and the Woodland Hills Football Network. Made cameraman Lee Schaefer Jr. along the near sidelines. Doing a great job for us as always, as well as all of our television crew. It's Woodland Hills 21 and Baldwin 14. Wolverines threatening. 2nd and 5 at the Highlanders 20. Randall hesitates, throws across the middle for Dante Broadus, and Luke Smory swats the ball away from Broadus at the last moment.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Adam, Harry Randall did hesitate. I think if he had just pumped that ball in the first time, as Dante Broadus had a little separation from Luke Smory, I think he would have been better served. But he thought that he could drill that in there. He threw a sharp pass, but Luke Smory, number 3, made an excellent defensive play on that pass.
Jake Cassidy back out there. Versatile junior offensive lineman now at right tackle for the Wolverines. Motion man from right to left is Tompkins. Low snap. Randall hands off. Shaw pounding his way through tacklers into the end zone for the 20-yard touchdown.
Bounds through a tackle right into the end zone for the Woodland Hills.
An arm tackle's not going to do it with Joel Shaw, Freddie.
No, especially from a defensive back. I mean, even if that defensive back probably put his shoulder into him, I don't know if it would have made much difference because Joel Shaw took the handoff with a full head of speed, picked up some nice blocks in the middle, or up the middle, and when you see 2 or 3 defensive backs trying to bring you down, that's going to be, a Joel Shaw win 85% of the time.
Rocco Rosito initially put the shoulder into Shaw. He brushed him off like a fly, and into the end zone he went. And Randall gets the snap down. The kick is up and in by Donald Cassidy. And with 4:15 to go in the 3rd quarter, Woodland Hills doubles up the Baldwin Highlanders 28-14. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Highlanders on the Woodland Hills Football Network. 28 down run. Chris David's interception that saved a Baldwin touchdown gave Woodland Hills the ball at their own 20-yard line, and 6 plays later it was Joel Shaw with a gaping hole had first down yardage, but wasn't satisfied with that. Ran through a pair of Baldwin Highlanders into the end zone, and the Wolverines have doubled up the Highlanders 28-14.
And Woodland Hills didn't really do anything fancy. They threw one pass on that drive, an incompletion to Dante Broadus, but it was mainly done on the ground. Just imposing their will against the front seven of Baldwin, which we haven't seen much today because Baldwin has been very successful in terms of shutting down Miles Sanders and Harry Randall in terms of not letting them get the big yardage that we're accustomed to. Took the ball, ran it right down the field, ran it down their throats, and Joel Shaw's 20-yard run was an exclamation point on that drive.
Again, 4:15 to play in the third quarter. Woodland Hills up by 14 points. Donald Cassidy will kick a low squibbing kick that'll be returned by Bill Howley. Howley found a crease for a moment, and he will be brought down. Cassidy in on the tackle, as well as Deshaun Osbrooks, and it'll be first down and 10 for the Baldwin Highlanders at the 45-yard line.
And as little success as Baldwin had at the end of the first half with their no-huddle offense, I think that's probably what they're going to need to do to keep this Woodland Hills defense off pace. They did a great job of driving down the field the last time, but came up short with an interception by Chris David. You're going to have to keep these guys off, on their heels and back on their heels if you're going to get some success out of these guys.
Pistol formation, sidecar to the left of the quarterback Altavilla. He'll hand off to Barca, and Barca is brought down a yard deep in the black backfield. And this Woodland Hills defense may smell blood now, Freddie.
I think they do. It's definitely in the water right now. They're going to come after you. They're going to find ways to put some pressure on you. How much pressure depends on that offensive line. If they can stymie them at the initial contact, that's going to be an advantage for Baldwin. But if Woodland Hills can get any pressure against Altavilla, he is interception prone as well. So be interested to see what Woodland Hills can do.
Altavilla 5 picks on the year. Altavilla out of the pistol, rolls to his left. He's pressured. He'll be hit hard right at the line of scrimmage by Dante Broadus, who was chased down from behind by James Eggleston as well. No gain on the play. It won't be a sack for Eggleston or Broadus, but it still brings up a third down and 11.
And that's the type of pressure that I was talking about. On the outside, Deshaun Osbrooks came on an outside blitz from his middle linebacker position. Dante Broadus came through, got some pressure by Eggleston, was able to flush Altavilla out, and that's the type of pressure that Woodland Hills is going to need if they're going to, stymie this Baldwin offense.
Woodland Hills with a 4-man defensive front, and that could be very effective with Solomon and Eggleston coming up the middle. Altavilla looks to his left, throws to his left, a timing pattern for Bill Howley, but it seemed like the Wolverines had the timing as well as Mike Nash hit Howley as soon as he caught the football. A pickup of 4 on the play, but it'll still bring up a punt on 4th and 7 for the Highlanders.
And I like what Woodland Hills is doing in their secondaries. They're rotating about 4 or 5 different guys to different positions. Sometimes the safeties are playing corners, sometimes the corners are playing safeties. They're just doing a good job of keeping Baldwin's passing game at bay right now.
A low snap. Smorey has to rugby it as he runs to his left, kicks it with his left foot, and still got a decent punt off as it bounced out of bounds along the near sideline at the 25-yard line.
Snap, that ball is kicked out of bounds.
So it's a
25-yard line.
A 27-yard punt. Not bad for the duress that Smorey was under. It'll be first and 10 for the Wolverines with the ball at their own 25.
Yeah, I thought Smorey had enough time and enough green space across the field that he probably could have picked up the first down. It wasn't like it was a 4th and 10 or 4th and 15. It was 4th and maybe 5 or 7. I thought he could have run for it and at least try to get the first down.
Well, there was a Wolverine coming from that side. I don't know if he just felt the pressure. So Woodland Hills with the ball at their own 25-yard line. Shotgun formation, sidecar to the right of Sanders is Shaw. Handoff on the jet sweep. There goes Miles Sanders to the far boundary, to the 40, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, and into the end zone goes Miles Sanders. He blows it wide open with a 75-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, and Baldwin actually had that sniffed out. The outside linebacker came directly up the field. Miles Sanders just put a quick move on him. Next thing you know, he's standing in the end zone because he did a great job of just running past every Baldwin Highlander.
Miles Sanders now with 187 yards rushing to go along with 2 touchdowns.
Amazing.
And Miles Sanders now with 800 yards in the first 6 games of the year. This kid's just a sophomore. Good snap and a good hold, and the kick is up, and that kick is good, but the officials are going to wave it off because of a penalty.
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat point after.
So the Wolverines going to move back 5 yards. Stephen Rickard, incidentally, has really locked down the long snapping duties. The 6'5", 226-pound two-way lineman has been the long snapper since the injury to Rooney. Randall is the holder. The kicker is Cassidy. This will be a 25-yard PAT. And that was absolutely textbook. And with 1:53 to play in the third quarter, it is Woodland Hills 35 and Baldwin 14. You're tuned in to the Wolverines and the Highlanders on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
35 to 14. Nick Altavilla and Gary Jackson deep to receive.
1 minute and 53 seconds remain in the third quarter. It is Woodland Hills 35 and Baldwin 14. The most recent score, a 75-yard touchdown run by Miles Sanders. He felt some duress initially, but when he turned the corner at the 30-yard line, he saw daylight, smelled the end zone, and he would not be denied.
You know, Adam, at some point, we're going to have to check the record books. By the end of his senior season, we potentially could be looking at the all-time leading rusher in Woodland Hills history.
Well, a couple of years ago when Mike Caprera was making his run through his freshman, sophomore, and junior seasons, we knew he'd become the all-time leading tackler. But with Miles Sanders gaining 700-plus yards as a freshman, and he already has 800-plus yards as a junior, that really could become a fait accompli. And a nice kick by Donald Cassidy, carries inside of the 5 and bounces into the end zone where it will be first down and 10 for the Baldwin Highlanders at their own 20-yard line.
And Woodland Hills really needs to come out and basically do what they did against Baldwin in that last drive. Stymie the passing game, bring the pressure that they need to, and just lock down these Baldwin wide receivers. They've done a good job, but you know, Woodland Hills on occasion, especially the last 2 drives, has done a good job in pass coverage against Baldwin.
The dollar tickets that are sold near the main concession stand get you 2 entries and 2 tries.
Incidentally, Fred, Miles Sanders had that 75-yard carry, and it only took him about 10 seconds on a carry around right end to cover 75 yards.
It's not sprinter speed, but
it took him 10 seconds to run 100 yards. Pretty darn good.
That's pretty okay. All right. Well, it was 70. It was 75 yards.
Yeah, but he ran from the near side hash to the outside right. So he covered, let's say, 90 yards in 10 seconds.
That's not bad. Not bad at all.
Pistol formation. Altavilla will hand off to Barca, the tailback. He's hit hard after picking up about 2 yards by Deshaun Osbrooks.
Handoff goes to Nick Barca.
And that brings up second down and 8.
Osbrooks on defense for the Wolverines.
Barca with 22 yards.
About a 2-yard gain
on the day.
Play. Second and 8, Baldwin.
12 carries for 22 yards. Less than 2 yards per carry. And Barca is going to wake up sore tomorrow. Pistol formation again. Altavilla pressured. And a shovel pass. And it's intercepted by Big Dan Gibson. And Gibson will be brought down at the 14-yard line. And a flag comes in late. But it'll be Woodland Hills football no matter what. Danny Gibson with the pick.
That was a great job of Deshaun Osbrooks, splitting the tight end and the offensive tackle. Got tremendous pressure on Altavilla. Altavilla didn't know what to do with it, so he just flung it out to a running back. Fortunately for Woodland Hills, number 50, Dan Gibson, was right underneath it. He was rumbling, stumbling, bumbling, and he saw that black
Dead ball. Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness against Baldwin. Half the distance to the goal line. First down.
So this ball will go from the 14 to the 7-yard line.
Yeah. Danny Gibson had his eyes wide open when he saw that end zone, but fortunately for Baldwin, he was tripped up by the intended receiver.
Barca was the intended receiver who made the tackle. A return on that interception of about 5 yards for Dan Gibson, but had he slipped through the tackle of Barca, it would have been an 18-yard pick six for the Big D tackle. So 1:16 to go here in the third quarter. Woodland Hills with the ball at the Baldwin 7-yard line, up by 21 points. Motion man from left to right, handoff. Sanders dancing his way forward, still on his feet, and into the end zone for touchdown number 3.
Sanders, who dances his way into the end zone.
We say this time and time again, Adam, you cannot arm tackle Miles Sanders. You have to hit him and wrap him up and contain him and hope a couple other of your teammates can come and help clean up the mess, because if you let him into space at any point in time, he's going to burn you, and he's going to burn you big like he did on that last play for a touchdown.
Pulling guard coming from left to right with the kick out was Wilford Clark, the sophomore. Second-year starter. PAT by Donald Cassidy's up and in. And with 1:10 to go in the third quarter, Woodland Hills has opened up a 38-point lead. We're tuned into the Wolverines and the Highlanders here on the Woodland Hills Football Network. Nobody said I was a math major in college. I said it was a 38-point Woodland Hills lead before the break. It's actually a 28-point Wolverine advantage, 42-14, with 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining in the third quarter. An interception by Dan Gibson, and the following play, a 7-yard touchdown run by Miles Sanders as he blew through arm tackles and into the end zone for his third touchdown of the game. Miles Sanders, 194 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns.
A great job of Woodland Hills coming out in the second half. Despite the first drive, miscues, got themselves together, had a nice pick off in the end zone, took that ball down the field, got a touchdown. Good defensive effort next time around, got themselves back in the end zone for Miles Sanders.
Donald Cassidy, end-over-end kick, carries to the 7-yard line, where it'll be returned by Nick Altavilla, and Altavilla carries it across the 20 to the 24-yard line. Wolverines there to make the tackle, including Miles Sanders.
Runs that ball up near the 30-yard line, rather than
with a 28-point lead.
Where Baldwin will take over 1st and 10.
Why is your stud running back on the kick coverage team?
You also had your stud quarterback on the kick coverage team as well. Also, I believe Art Tompkins was on kick coverage as well. What they've done this past week is use their best athletes to get on that kick coverage team, and it's paid dividends so far for Woodland Hills.
Off of play action, Altavilla looks to the near side right. The pass is intended for Bill Howley, incomplete. Step for step with Howley was Mike Nash, and the incomplete pass brings up second down and 10.
Yeah, great job of Mike Nash of not biting on the play action fake by Altavilla, and was step for step with Howley on that last play.
Second and 10, Baldwin.
Second and 10 rather for the Highlanders, the ball at their own 25. Again, the pistol with Altavilla, seeing a sidecar to his left and a back behind him. Handoff will go to Barca, and Barca finds himself a hole, and he has enough for the first down, his biggest gain of the day, covering 13 yards to the 38.
I think Baldwin might have caught Woodland Hills looking for the pass play, it being second and long. You're down by 28 points late in the game. You're gonna try to do something, anything that you can to put some points on the board.
First and 10, Baldwin.
Again, the pistol. 2 receivers to the near side right, a tight end to the left of the formation. Altavilla with a sidecar to his right, and Barca the tailback. Barca running into the near side. Seemed like he ran out of gas as he brought it to this near side. Tackle on the play by Dante Broadus. A little shove after the play, but Rashad Osbrooks keeps his cool, and it will be second down and 10. No gain for Barca.
And that's a great job of Dante Broadus coming from his right inside linebacker position, fighting through a couple of blockers to make a stop for no gain.
5 seconds to go in the third quarter. Baldwin has to hurry if they want to get this play off in the third frame. And they will not. And we will head to the fourth quarter with Woodland Hills holding a 28-point advantage, 42-14 over the Baldwin Highlanders. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Highlanders on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. 42-14, Woodland Hills leads Baldwin as we are set to begin the fourth quarter here in Turtle Creek, Pennsylvania. Adam Gusky and Fred Guy on the call for you all across the Woodland Hills Football Network, including our flagship radio station, AM 1550 WZUM, our website at woodlandhillsfootballnetwork.com. And if you really want to get the best coverage of the Woodland Hills football team, go to woodlandhillsfootballnetwork.com because we have all kinds of highlights and information and all links to all the news articles. Go there, and we've got it all for you, including live video broadcast of all home games and live radio broadcast of our away games, and even have some live broadcasts of select road games if the team we're playing can provide us with internet. Pass to the far sideline intended for Josh Zinsmeister is incomplete. A phantom foul comes in. It certainly looked like Mike Nash timed that perfectly, but if this is pass interference against Woodland Hills, it's criminal.
Pass interference on the defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
And you can tell, Adam, that the coaches on the far sideline for Woodland Hills were not happy about that call. It looked like you said that Mike Nash timed it correctly. He got there just as the ball was getting to the wide receiver, maybe a little bit early, as we were looking at the replay.
First down and 10 for Baldwin with the ball at the Woodland Hills 47. The Wolverines up by 28 points as we start the fourth quarter. Altavilla to the near side. Oh, it's intercepted nearly by Trayvon Mathis, but as he came to the turf, he couldn't hang on to it. And Mathis, with the near pick, would have been the third interception of Altavilla today. Altavilla has thrown a half a dozen picks this year, including 2 at crucial moments against the Wolverines this evening.
Yeah, I think Smoy might have gotten a hand in there as he was passing Trayvon Mathis to help dislodge that ball from him.
Second down and 10 for Baldwin with the ball at the Woodland Hills 47-yard line. Shotgun formation with a sign car to the left of Altavilla. Home handoff to Barca. Trying to bounce it to the far sideline. He'll be tripped up as he crosses the line of scrimmage by Mike Nash. Nash did a nice job shedding a blocker in the open field and making the tackle for a modest pickup for the Highlanders of just 3 yards.
Yeah, the one thing you have to realize about this Woodland Hills defense is they're linebackers. They're 4 linebackers, 2 inside, 2 outside. They're not what we would call big guys. But they are very rangy and they're very fast. If you try to bounce a play against Deshaun Osbrooks or Dante Broadus, they're going to find you.
High snap, goes over the head of Altavilla. He eludes one Wolverine. Now he'll step up, cross the line of scrimmage, and hope he bounced around and brought down. And he is well short of the first down marker. At the bottom of the pile, it is Dante Broadus. A pickup of about 2 yards for Altavilla, who now has 7 yards rushing today. And Smory will come out to try to boot it away for the Highlanders. And Harry Randall will drop back deep to return it. He already has 1 punt return for a touchdown today, a 56-yarder where he ran for about 100. Smory on the fake punt to the near side. He will complete the pass to Nick Altavilla. Smory finding Nick Altavilla, and that is just enough for the first down, a pickup of 6.
Nick Altavilla is going to feel that hit tomorrow by Trayvon Mathis because he caught him right underneath the shoulder pad and put his shoulder pad right on his ribs. And I'm surprised that Altavilla was able to hang on to that ball as well as Trayvon Mathis put a hit on him.
Nick Altavilla, 3 catches today for 24 yards. Smory now 1 of 2 in the air for 6 yards. Doug Altavilla, the older of the 2 brothers, in the shotgun. Wolverine show blitz. A delay blitz by the Wolverines. A pass will be hung out there to the 10-yard line and incomplete. Looks like Chris David had a beat on the football. He actually came up a little bit lame as he ran into the end zone. A little hitch in his giddy up, but he'll jog his way back to the huddle. And that incomplete pass by Altavilla brings up a second down and 10.
Yeah, like you said, it looked like he was in the area. It might have been a situation where he didn't want to catch it, but he also didn't want the receiver to catch it as well.
Altavilla in the shotgun. Twins to either side, and the sidecar to his left and Barca. Altavilla calling out signals. High snap, he'll hand it off to Barca. And Barca will pick up about a yard to the 44-yard line. Kevin Solomon on the tackle. Also out there and getting involved in the fray, Wilford Clark. Clark, who doesn't play much defense, is out there right now at a defensive tackle spot.
Yeah, usually we see Will Clark on the offensive line. He's done a great job for Woodland Hills this year. But I think coach is trying to get him some time on defense as well.
Well, we see Gibson, Eggleston, Solomon, Clark, all those guys out there. And Altavilla didn't see much on a timing pattern to the near side left, and he'll be tripped up as he picks up about 2 yards. Kevin Solomon making the play again. And they're going to say no gain on the play, in fact, and it's 4th down and 9.
Well, and at this point, every possession is going to be a 4-down possession for Baldwin, because at this point you're down 28, less than 10 minutes left to go in the game. If you want to try to do anything, take a couple shots at the end zone at this point.
Pistol formation, Twins to either side. Sidecar to the right of Altavilla is Barker. Altavilla looks to his right, throws to his left, and it's into the hands of Smory. And Smory will bounce off of Wolverines and into the end zone. He will go. And if Luke Smory could clone himself and beat more of the Baldwin Highlanders, they could be a heck of a football team, as that 34-yard touchdown by Luke Smory is his 3rd of the game.
Yeah, it wasn't like, Baldwin did anything fancy. They just ran a post. Good possession by Smory. Slipped a couple of tackles by the Wolverines and got himself into the end zone.
34-yard touchdown pass takes Altavilla over 200 yards, and Luke Smory now in the 168 yards receiving. PAT is up, and that is good. And with 8:56 to play in the 4th quarter, it's Woodland Hills 42 and Baldwin 21. We're tuned into the Wolverines and the Highlanders on the Woodland Hills Football Network. On 4th down and 9, Nick Altavilla looked across the middle, Doug Altavilla looked across the middle and found Luke Smory. Smory caught the ball shy of the 1st down flag. Bounced off of Dante Broadus, ran away from Harry Randall and into the end zone. He went for the 34-yard touchdown. Doug Altavilla now with 217 yards passing. Luke Smory with 168 yards receiving. And Baldwin looks for the onside kick. And it will be covered up by the Wolverines at the midfield stripe. Deshaun Osbrooks alongside of Hassan Ghanem. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Wolverines, 50 yards away from taking this lead back to 28 points.
Yeah, Woodland Hills is not taking anything for granted, even being up by 21. With a shade under 9 minutes left to go in this game, they still have the first-team offense out there. They want to make sure that they secure this win. Make sure they put enough points on the board that Baldwin can't try to make a comeback.
Pistol formation, Sanders behind Randall. 3 receivers to the left. Handoff. Sanders bouncing to the outside into Highlander territory. 45-40, 35-30 as he steps out of bounds along the far boundary right at the 30-yard line. A pickup of 20 for Harry Randall, and he now has over 200 yards rushing.
I think you meant Miles Sanders on that last play.
Did I say Harry Randall?
Yes, you did.
Okay, yes. Miles Sanders with 200 yards rushing. 214 to be exact.
And don't get me wrong, I'm sure Harry Randall wishes he had 200 yards rushing today as well.
1st and 10, Woodland Hills.
Pistol formation. Randall's going to keep this one. Breaks through a hole inside of the 20 to the 18-yard line. A pickup of 12 for Harry Randall. And Harry Randall now with just 8 yards on the ground.
Pounds his way up near 1st down yardage.
9 carries for 8 yards for Harry Randall today. Well, his offensive legs haven't been there this evening, but we certainly saw it in the special teams game on that 56-yard punt return in the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, he had Daniel Gibson, Vic Bilberry, and Joel Shaw lead blocking for him. And he did a great job of just being patient and waiting for things to develop on that last play.
8:14 on a rolling clock. Woodland Hills doubling up the Highlanders 42-21. New QB in for Woodland Hills. Handoff will go to Miles Sanders. Inside of the 20, the 15 to the 10-yard line. A flag behind the play around the 20-yard line. Deron Cooper was the quarterback, at least on that last play for the Wolverines, as Harry Randall is being tended to by the training staff along that far boundary. Let's check in with the referee on this one. It appears to be holding. And they're going to say that it was holding right near the line of scrimmage.
Holding, offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat the down. First down.
Instead of a 9-yard pickup on first down for Miles Sanders, it'll be a loss of 10 yards. And first and 10, or rather first down and 20 for Woodland Hills at the 28-yard line. Deron Cooper, the QB. 3 receivers to the left of the formation. Mike Nash, the tight end to the right. Or excuse me, Mike Smith, the tight end to the right. Shaw motions from left to right. Cooper, I don't think he and Sanders were on the same page there, and Cooper's going to be brought down 4 yards deep in the backfield, and that'll bring up third down and 24.
And what Baldwin did on that last play is they actually brought 2 of their middle linebackers right up the A gap on both sides of the center, which in my mind would cause the confusion for Cooper as he was trying to hand off to Sanders.
I think I may have misspoke. It's second down and 24 for Woodland Hills. The line to gain is the 8-yard line as Deron Cooper stays in at quarterback, trips to the right of the formation. Smith is the tight end to the left. Snap a little low. Cooper rolls to his left, steps up into the pocket, runs to his left again. Picks up positive yardage, and he'll be pummeled to the artificial surface along the far sideline at the 26-yard line. A pickup of 6 for Deron Cooper.
It looked like a design pass on that last play, and give kudos to Coach Novak of trying to get your younger, inexperienced quarterback some experience in terms of the passing game. Obviously, the Baldwin defense did a great job in coverage, and Cooper just took it around left side and tried to make the most of what he had.
Harry Randall along that far sideline being escorted, what we have to assume is to the locker room, by physical therapist Joe Schaffo. As Harry saunters along that far boundary, looks like Cooper's going to finish up the game at the quarterback spot. Woodland Hills not in any immediate danger with this 21-point advantage and less than 8 minutes to play. Shaw motions from left to right. Handoff. Miles Sanders, as a flag flies, this may be an illegal shift against Woodland Hills, as I think Shaw may have gone forward prior to
Handoff to Sanders. There
the
is a
snap.
flag on the play.
Pickup of 1 for Sanders. We'll see what the penalty's about.
Illegal shift on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
Baldwin will decline the penalty.
Penalties decline. 4th down.
So give Miles Sanders the pickup of 1. 215 yards rushing for Miles Sanders now after that gain of, actually they get a gain of 2, so he has 216.
4th and long, Woodland Hills.
So 4th and long for the Wolverines. Deron Cooper stays out there. 7:03 to play and a 21-point advantage. Not much to lose here. Wolverines with some subs out there in the receiving corps. Starting running backs out there, though, in Shaw and Sanders. Cooper, straight drop back, has some time. He'll throw it to the near corner, and it will be tipped away from the intended receiver. Bill Howley on the defensive breakup. With a pass intended for Jamon Dunn. And as Dunn went up, he had a beat on the football, and Howley's punch at the football came at the last moment, and it's the second turnover on downs today for the Wolverines.
Yeah, Cooper doesn't have the arm strength that Harry Randall does, but he definitely throws a nice ball. He put that ball into the back of the end zone where he thought only his receiver could get it, but Baldwin's Bill Howley made a nice play to get rid of the ball, or I'm sorry, to break up that pass in the back of the end zone.
Deron Cooper, incidentally, the 3rd man on the depth chart at the quarterback spot. In the offseason, it was Harry Randall and Jeremiah Jones had a battle for the QB spot. Harry Randall won the battle. And Jones has not been in uniform the last 2 weeks, but he has been on the sidelines for Woodland Hills. And the ball carrier for the Baldwin Highlanders is Doug Altavilla. The tackle by Woodland Hills is made by, I'm not sure.
Illegal helmet contact, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, first down.
Well, I don't think any of our listeners needs to hear what two former football players have to say
15.
about what just happened.
Illegal helmet. That's the first time I've seen that.
It looked like Altavilla initiated the contact with Jordan Lee. And Lee just made the tackle.
And he put his head down.
That's what I mean. It looks like Altavilla put his head down, initiated the contact with Lee. Give him a gain of 2, and then the penalty after that. Altavilla down the far sideline. A one-handed interception by Mike Nash. Nash down the far sideline. And he will be still on his feet at the 50-yard line, eluding a tackler inside of Baldwin territory, inside of the 30, and brought down at the 29-yard line. Well, Mike Nash comes through with the big one-handed interception.
And he was fighting off the wide receiver for Baldwin the entire time. That was just an excellent catch by Mike Nash, using his concentration to reel that ball in. And once he got that ball, I mean, he picked up some nice blocks, but he made a lot of people miss. Danced through some arm tackles and put Woodland Hills in a good position to get some points with a young quarterback late in this game.
And Nash returned that football from his own 24-yard line to the Baldwin 28. So that's 26 plus 22, a pickup of 48 yards on that INT return. So Woodland Hills with the ball, first down and 10 at the Baldwin 28-yard line. Handoff will go to Miles Sanders, who's still on his feet inside of the 20 and brought down at the 19-yard line. A pickup of 9 for Miles Sanders.
And Miles Sanders just keeps racking up the yards. I mean, he's taking time off the clock, but he keeps on adding to his stats for the day. He's just done a great job. I mean, this last play is just a straight handoff, straight dive, couple of one pulling guard, and he was just patient. Just found some lanes, got himself up the field, and like I said, Miles Sanders just keeps doing it every week on the ground for Woodland Hills.
So they're only going to give Sanders a pickup of 8 yards with 5:33 to go. It's Woodland Hills with the football at the Baldwin 20. Handoff to Sanders again. Sanders inside of the 15, and he will be brought down inside of the 10 to the 9-yard line. A pickup of 11 yards. .235 yards on the ground today for Miles Sanders. A trio of touchdowns. With 5:18 to play, it's safe to say that Miles Sanders is our State Senator Jay Costa player of the game.
Yeah, he just keeps doing it. He plays a little bit of defense, plays some special teams, but the bulk of what he does for this team is obviously on the offense and carrying the ball. But he also catches passes out of the backfield, and he's just basically putting this team on his back right now with Harry Randall, going to the locker room. He's just, basically saying, "Come with me, boys. See where we can go."
Deron Cooper will hand off to Nigel Henderson, who will dance his way forward to about the 6-yard line before being driven back. Pickup of 3 for Nigel Henderson.
Cooper's handoff goes to Nigel Henderson.
And I'm thinking Coach Novak is going to give Miles Sanders the rest of the night off with 5 minutes left to go in this game.
Well, he carried that ball to the 6 and moved it back to the 7. No, they're going to put it on the 6. I'm sorry. The flag and the ball are at 2 different places. Nigel Henderson, with his first run of the game, has 3 yards. He's in the pistol. He'll take the handoff from Cooper. He'll drive his way forward towards the end zone. Coughed up the football at the 1. It's recovered by Baldwin. It'll be a touchback. Henderson had a clear feed
Fumble
to the end zone.
into the end zone by the offense. Recovered by the defense. Automatic touchback.
And the Wolverine is shaken up around the 4-yard line.
The Wolverine shaking up on the play.
And it's Baldwin will have the football with the touchback here after we take a look at this television replay. Henderson had an arm come in there and knock the ball away from him. Rooney was inches away from covering up that football in the end zone for the second offensive lineman touchdown of the season, but instead it was recovered by Baldwin, and we have a Wolverine who is shaken up inside of the 5-yard line. We hate to speculate, but it appears to be a Baldwin Youngblood. 4:32 to play. Woodland Hills on top of Baldwin, 42-21 here in the fourth quarter. We're going to take a timeout. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Highlanders on the Woodland Hills Football Network. Red guy on the call for you. All across the Woodland Hills Football Network. And Baldwin Youngblood to his feet, and he will march off to the far sideline. Fans, don't forget, next Friday it'll be Woodland Hills traveling to Cantonsburg, PA to take on the Cannon Mac Big Macs. Kickoff is at 7:30 p.m. Our coverage starts at 7:10 p.m. all across the Woodland Hills Football Network. Of course, we'll have our radio coverage live on all of our outlets, and then we'll have television replays on all of our TV outlets and our YouTube channel. The Baldwin recovering that Woodland Hills fumble in the end zone, and the Highlanders have the ball at their own 20. Pass to the near side. It is complete to Luke Smory, and Smory carrying the ball across the 30 for first down yardage. He'll be batted around and brought down at the 34-yard line to pick up a 14 for Smory.
And Smory also caught the ball, and he also gave Trayvon Mathis a ride. The last couple of yards on that play, it looked like Smory had Mathis on his back.
182 yards receiving today for Smory. Altavilla's pass is intended for Nick Altavilla. So the brothers cannot combine on that one. The ball sat on the back of Nick Altavilla for a moment and then fell to the turf innocently for an incompletion.
Yeah, it looks like Jahad Brown had coverage on that and got to the younger Altavilla as the ball got to him. And like you said, the ball sat on his back for a quick second and didn't realize the ball was there before it hit the turf.
Doug Altavilla, straight drop back, looks to his right, has a receiver wide open along that far sideline. It's Vince Perschetti making the catch and then getting hit hard.
Vincent Perschetti is complete.
Nice pickup though for Perschetti, a gain of
Perschetti wrapped up by
18 yards to the Woodland Hills 48.
First down for Baldwin.
And Adam, I'm really surprised you haven't used the phrase the brothers Altavilla yet.
First and 10 Islanders.
Or the brothers Zinsmeister. Altavilla rolling to his left, eludes one Wolverine but cannot elude the next as Devin Nixon makes the play. Altavilla sacked for the first time today.
Tackled by Devin Nixon.
And Woodland Hills has done a great job of bringing pressure on Altavilla, which causes him to get out of a rhythm. I mean, he's obviously a very systematic quarterback, needs his rhythm, needs his time. But once you get him under duress, anything could happen.
Altavilla will hand off. The ball carrier is Nick Barca. And Barca into the open field to the near side. And he will be brought down by Trayvon Mathis. Shy of the first down flag along the near boundary at the 41-yard line.
Barca tackled by Trayvon Mathis of the Wolverines.
But a nice pickup there by Barca. 13-yard gain there for Barca. 53 yards on the ground today for Barca. Pass in and out of the hands of Luke Smory, and that's the first time we didn't see Smory come up with the catch today.
Yeah, very uncharacteristic drop by Smory. I don't know if he was turning upfield before he got the ball or the ball was wet, slippery, slipped through his hands, but like I said, uncharacteristic of Luke Smory to drop a pass like that.
By my count, 249 yards passing today for Doug Altavilla. Well, he certainly stuffed the stat sheets, but he's thrown 3 interceptions on the evening. Pistol formation. Altavilla throwing it to Smorey on the near side. The Wolverines saw that one coming a mile away, and Jordan Lee brings down Smorey a yard deep in the backfield. And that is a turnover on downs, and it'll be Woodland Hills football.
Junior Jordan Lee. Woodland Hills will take over on the 42-yard line. First and 10.
So Woodland Hills has the ball at their own 42 after that turnover on downs by Baldwin.
And I'm looking over the roster. Lee is a 5'11", 183-pound junior. And
then Woodland Hills uses a timeout here.
Timeout. Woodland Hills.
Wolverines take a break. We will too. It's 42-21. Woodland Hills on top of Baldwin with 2:43 to play on the fourth quarter. Tune into the Wolverines and the Highlanders on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Telecast can be seen on the road.
42-21. Woodland Hills in control here in the fourth quarter. 2:43 to play in regulation. Woodland Hills with the ball at their own 42-yard line after turning the Highlanders over on downs. 3 takeaways today by Woodland Hills, all coming in the second half. An interception by Chris David, an interception by Dan Gibson, and an interception by Mike Nash. And Nash had the big return of 48 yards. The Wolverines weren't able to do anything with it as they drove the ball down towards the 5-yard line, but then was fumbled away by Nigel Henderson. Henderson dotting the I right now. Snap high, Cooper hands it off. Big hole for Henderson. Here he comes, dancing his way inside of Highlander territory. First down yardage and more, a gain of 11 for Nigel Henderson.
Nigel Henderson who's good for first down yardage.
a good job of Henderson of not trying to get too greedy and bouncing it outside. Thought he could get some more yardage by turning it back up the field, and he was correct because he got himself a first down.
Clock winding down towards 2:22 to go. 42-21, Woodland Hills doubling up Baldwin. Too many starters out there. Jake Cassidy, kind of a part-time starter along that offensive line. Really the only starter out there with the exception of Wilford Clark. No, Wilford Clark not out there. A snap high for Cooper. He'll run it down though. Slides through the first wave of white jerseys, but can't elude the second wave, as Cooper will be brought down for a big loss. The snap went awry by Stephen Rickard. And the loss on that play back to the 43-yard line will cost Woodland Hills 10 yards.
Yeah, that was a good job of Cooper of getting back there and corralling that ball and picking up an extra couple of yards in terms of where he got into to where he ended up.
Less than 90 seconds to play. Incidentally, Stephen Rickard, the starting long snapper, kind of surprised that pistol snap went awry. Again, a little high. Cooper gathers it in, though. He'll step up into the pocket. Thinks about running. Now he will run as he carries it across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Pickup of 3 for Deron Cooper. 4 carries, minus 5 yards today for Cooper, but that big loss of 10 yards was not his fault.
Yeah, it seems like Rickard can snap it 15 yards, but he can't snap it 3 yards.
Again, Deron Cooper running the offense for Woodland Hills because Jeremiah Jones, the other sophomore, the number 2 QB on the depth chart, not in uniform for the second straight week. Another new tailback out there for the Wolverines. Gets to the right of the formation. Snap high again. Woodland Hills is going to chase it down. This time, it is that deep on the depth chart ball carrier who's still on his feet, trying to fight his way forward, but instead he keeps retreating. And Peyton Hicks is going to be guilty of the cardinal sin as he'll go from his own 46 to his own 23. There's a flag down on the loss of 23, and there is also a Highlander who is shaken up. That's a shame for the Woodland Hills running total.
Dead ball, personal foul. against the offense, half the distance to the goal line, 4th down.
That rushing total for Woodland Hills was going to be absolutely spectacular. That loss of 23 will certainly at least put a decent dent into it. And the penalty, as you heard, against Woodland Hills was a personal foul, and that drives them back to the 12-yard line. The line to gain is the 37-yard line of the Baldwin Highlanders. The ball sets at the 12.
4th and a mile sounds about right.
So that's 38. 38 plus 14, or 38 plus 13 is
I wasn't even paying attention
51.
because I was watching the clock because it really doesn't even matter.
Woodland Hills wins 42 to 21. Woodland Hills defeats the Baldwin Highlanders. A terrific third and fourth quarter gives Woodland Hills their 4th victory in a row. The Wolverines are now 4-2 on the season, and more importantly, 4-1 in Southeastern Conference action.
Yeah, it was a great job of the Woodland Hills offense today, coming out of that second half. Baldwin had a little momentum going into the halftime because of the score only being up 7 points at that point. And Woodland Hills just did a great job of cutting through the defense of Baldwin. They just wore them down, was able to sustain some drives that ate up a lot of clock. And the one thing that we should be a little concerned about going into next week's game is the fact that Woodland Hills has given up over 200 yards through the air this week. It's by far the most that they've given up all season long. I know they had a little bit of a rough game against Bethel Park through the air, and Upper St. Clair did a good job as well passing on this Wolverine secondary. They just need to buckle down, go over the game plan, figure out where some things might have come up short, fix them this week in practice, and get back at Cannon McMillan next week.
The one glaring thing on offense that looked terrific was Miles Sanders. Sanders with 235 yards today, and Miles Sanders has about 850 yards in the first 6 games of the year.
Yeah, he just continues to impress me. I know he impresses you every week, only being a sophomore, but having that year last year and the magical run that they made to Heinz Field made him mature a lot faster. Even though he was lost to injury for a few games, was lost in the second half, or most of the second half in the Whitfield Championship game. He's come back faster, stronger, and ready to lead this Wolverine team back to Heinz Field.
Again, your final score, Woodland Hills defeating the Baldwin Highlanders 42 to 21. The Wolverines on the year are now 4-2 on the season, and more importantly, 4-1 in the Southeastern Conference. The Highlanders are now 2-4 on the year and 2-4 in the SEC. Next up for the Woodland Hills Wolverines are the Cannon McMillan Big Macs, but first we've got to thank our television crew, including our executive producer and director, Larry George III, our broadcast engineer and technical director, Lee Schaefer Jr., our camera operators today, Lee Schaefer Jr., Lee Schaefer III, Joe Slick, and I'm sorry, I didn't catch the last name. I know the young man's coming out and helping us out, and he did a great job. And, of course, I'm Adam Gusky alongside of Fred Guy, and our public address announcer here at the Wolverine is Matt Rodriguez, who helped lead you through when we were not live on television. Again, your final score, 42 to 21. Woodland Hills defeats the Baldwin Highlanders. Next week, the Wolverines travel to Cannon McMillan. 7:30 kickoff, 7:10 airtime all across the Woodland Hills Football Network. Folks, on the television side, we'll talk to you again next week on the radio side. Stay tuned for the State Senator Jay Costa post-game show. You've been tuned in to the Wolverines and the Highlanders all across the Woodland Hills Football Network.